N'Kosi Perry, he dipped his toe in, but now he's taken his toe back out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, that was the big news of the day. Obviously, being the self-proclaimed, biggest N'Kosi Perry fan, like other than his mama, since I first saw his recruiting film as a high school junior. It was not expected for me. I think the expected move was for him to transfer somewhere else because I believe that N'Kosi Perry has the skill to start somewhere. Group of five, power five, even. I mean, he's 6'4", he can move. He has a rocket for an arm. Is he the fastest? No. Is he the most accurate? No. But does he have the physical abilities that could lead him to start in other places where there are players who are not as physically gifted as him or have done enough or as much on the field as Kosi has? I absolutely believe that was the case. It was, I'm wearing my Canes for Life shirt. I don't know if you guys can see that, but, sometimes you have goals and sometimes you have dreams. And N'Kosi Perry being a Miami Hurricane was one of those for him. And, it was a tough decision by all reports for him to enter the transfer portal. It's an emotional kind of thing. He starts here, he beats Florida State. He's in the lineup, out of the lineup. Then you bring in D'Eriq King, who's one of the handful best college quarterbacks around. And, a guy who could have potentially developed into the starter. You're relegated to the bench. Just stay ready when your number's called. You come in the bowl game. You play really well when King goes down with an injury and everything. So, yeah, I'm sure it was a tough decision for N'Kosi to enter the portal. But then, he, like I said today, decided to take his name out of the portal and stay at Miami. And, for the spring, I think that Perry's probably the odds-on favorite to get the majority of the snaps on first team, unless you really want to see what you have coming in the future with Tyler Van Dyke. Because Tyler Van Dyke is a kid, the first play of his junior high school film, flat-footed, he flicks a wrist and the ball flies 65 yards. You know what I mean? Like, it's another guy with uncommon arm talent who's going to be here for longer. So you think, okay, maybe you want to kick the tires on that. Maybe you want to push him a little bit to see where his growth and development, happen to be right now. But it's like I said, sometimes you have goals and dreams and you want to live that dream. And, for N'Kosi Perry being a Miami Hurricane, I believe is that dream. And he decides that he wants to stay and do that. I don't think that he's going to beat out D'Eriq King or anything, pending King's health for the opening game against Alabama in 200 and whatever days on September 4th. I don't think that, absent some injuries, I don't really think that he's going to see the kind of playing time here that could potentially be available for him elsewhere. But again, it seems, with the decision to stay, like N'Kosi Perry really values, being a Miami Hurricane, loves his teammates, loves the school, wants to be here. And, he just adds an air of certainty to the quarterback room in terms of the backup, because your backup quarterback is always one snap away from playing. And you saw that in the bowl game, and it would be hard pressed to find many backup quarterbacks who are as accomplished and as good as N'Kosi Perry is. And again, this is a guy who I fully believe, if he stayed in the portal, could have and would have went to another Power 5 school and started. But he decides that he wants to be here. And again, you have King as your starter, Perry and Perry is your clear number 2 to me. Van Dyke is, if you're looking for just this year, I would say Perry. If you're looking for the future, then I would say Van Dyke. Then you have Jake Garcia, who's a 4-star recruit. He was the number 5 pro passer in the last recruiting class. Another guy who was a cannon for an arm. And then you got Tate Martell. He decides he wants to come back and finish his time at Miami. Where did that come from? I don't believe that he's going to play quarterback, or he's not going to clock major snaps, but he's a guy who's in the quarterback room right now. And then you have Peyton Matoka, who was, the high school, Houston small school, private school co-player of the year a couple of years ago, playing against, not the greatest competition. But when you put up more than 4,300 yards and like 55 touchdowns, look, you're going to be playing against bad competition, but you still got to put the numbers up. And again, he's not a guy who I believe is going to play any meaningful snaps here, but you got 5-6 guys in that quarterback room now, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I think that's the biggest news of the day. And like I said, if nothing else, N'Kosi Perry returning to Miami raises the floor at quarterback from what it could have been, because you have certainty with De'Aaron King pending his health. You have relative certainty with N'Kosi Perry, even though his ceiling might not now be as high as I once thought it was. But I think that what we've seen from him raises the floor if he were to have to play extended minutes. Just because while Tyler Van Dyke is talented, he has not shown or proven that at the college level. And I know that that's not his fault or anything. I'm just saying.
Cam, how much of this decision do you think has to do with De'Aaron King's injury and his 50-50 status? I'm going to call it 50-50 status at this point for week 1.
I don't know. It stands to reason that would be a big factor. Like, hey, I could go somewhere else and everything, but I could stay here if De'Aaron King is not 100% ready September the 4th. Instead of rushing him back, I've already started against Florida State. I've already started against Virginia. I've already started against Virginia Tech. I've already started against these other teams, So again, while N'Kosi Perry might not be Johnny Manziel from that 1 year or Cam Newton when he single-handedly beat Alabama. He might not be that, but he's probably not going to be a deer in the headlights because he's already started a bunch. You know what I mean? And that just gives a little bit more certainty, I think. And it settles the competition. But I think that, it's more introspective for Kosi of this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And just making that choice to move forward.
You mentioned his opportunity to go play Power 5 football and be a starting quarterback elsewhere. Where would you rank him among ACC starting quarterbacks? If he was the starting quarterback at Miami, where would you rank him right now? Generally, of course, we don't know. There are quarterback battles to be waged at certain schools coming into 2021 and across the Power 5, considering we've got about 64, I think is the number of Power 5 teams. And then you tack on a few of independents that are at that status in the high 60s. Where would you rank him as a starting quarterback in the Power 5 and the ACC in particular?
In terms of the ACC, if we start with the Coastal, Sam Howell, I'm taking over to Kosi. Georgia Tech, Jeff Sims, no, he turns the ball over too much. Virginia Tech, yeah, give me Kosi. Virginia, yeah, give me Kosi. Duke, yeah, give me Kosi. Virginia Tech, Duke, Carolina.
Pitt,
give me Kosi.
Who knows who those teams have coming back, though? Pickett's gone unless he opted to come back for another year. But anyway.
Right. I mean, but they had that kid from Arizona State or whatever, Yellen or whatever. So, so of the 5 in the Coastal, the 5 other teams, am I missing something?
Six other teams. So we're missing. We're missing
Pitt, Georgia Tech, Carolina, Duke, Virginia Tech. No, yeah, that's 6. Of them, I'm taking him over everybody but Sam Howell. In terms of the Atlantic, Ukulele from Clemson, yeah, give me GJ. I know Uyunglele, whatever. Give me Ukulele. Give me who else is in there? Boston College, yeah, that's close.
He's good.
I'm gonna.
And you're a N'Kosi Perry fan.
So I know, but even still, I'm probably gonna take Jerkovic. But that's like a very, I want to say that's like a real close kind of thing. It's not a big separation there.
No, I don't think so.
Wake Forest, give me Kosi. Who else?
I don't know if Wake Forest Sam Hartman's coming back. He's a decent quarterback. He's
a decent quarterback. Give me Kosi. He's not
Bailey Hockman just left North Carolina State. At least went into the portal. So I don't know.
Yeah, still give me Kosi over him. Guy. Even though I know that we reprised the role of just being the palette for the backup quarterback to have a career day against Miami, which for years happened from 2013 to 16, well 11 to 16 really. Every backup quarterback that we played lit us on fire, and Bailey Hockman reprised that. Give me Kosi instead of him. Who else is in the Atlantic? Florida State. Don't make me. What? No. Give me Kosi. he almost had his Mackenzie Milton, yeah, almost had his leg snapped in half. If this is 2017, 18, Nkosi or Mackenzie Milton, yes, I don't know if he's going to be that guy. But right now, no, give me Kosi. Louisville, no, he turns the ball over too much. Give me Kosi. Although he can run, the Cunningham kid.
Yeah.
But again, I think that, just like Djokovic, it's maybe not a 100% like, wide gulf between them, but I'm still choosing Kosi over him. You know what I mean? But so I would say in terms of the ACC, fourth, give or take.
And that's the exercise I wanted you to go through, because I was doing that in my head thinking he's coming back somewhere. He's going to be a backup where he's one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the conference.
That's what I'm saying, and again, it might be a, medium high floor, medium-ish ceiling kind of a thing. It won't be to quote Michael Jordan, the ceiling is the roof, unlimited potential kind of a thing or whatnot. But yeah, I would firmly have Kosi as like the number 4, 5-ish starter in the ACC. If you extrapolate that out across, the entire Power 5, I would say, yeah, in that mid pack, in that of 64, I'd probably say in that, off the top of my head, 28 to 35-ish. Probably. I mean, somewhere in there, like middle of the pack, baseball term, like value over replacement player or whatever. He's probably that league average, maybe a little bit over kind of a player. But yeah, I would say top 35 out of 64 starting quarterbacks in Power 5, give or take a place or 3. That's off the top of my head where I would rank him. And that's very good because that's your backup if you're Miami, because, and he has already had surgery that's been reported. He's already posted pictures of rehabbing and moving his leg, not necessarily bending his knee and everything. I mean, maybe he has, but I haven't seen that. But Derek King has already gone through the surgery process. He's along the path towards recovery. I'm not going to say that he's fully recovered, but it's not like you're still waiting for him to have this surgery or something like that. And so this is a guy that you reasonably will expect, if you had the surgery, right before or around New Year's, 9 months, that'd be September, so somewhere in there, you're looking to have him back. So if your backup quarterback would be slotted in as a top 35-ish starter, and then you have Derek King, who had the 4th or 5th highest odds to win the Heisman, that's rare air. That's the difference between these guys. You're talking a mid-tier, middle of the road starter versus one of the literal handful best quarterbacks in college football. That's where things are, and obviously, you want everybody to be healthy and into play, but should N'Kosi Perry be forced into action, I think you can get by with that, given his performance, his talent, another year in the offense and the skill that's around him.